Oh, we have Creed.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, it's Worldspan.
And with that amazing introduction, signed Sol, I say hello and welcome to this clan war game between us in offs and Creed. Now Creed is a clan with a lot of good players, so this will obviously not be an easy game. Though it should be noted that we have beaten them before, and we have beaten them after this game. So we know it can definitely be done. It's just not a game we can take lightly. This time though, we are playing on Tears of the Desert. And this is a game from pretty early on in the season. So obviously we have adapted our tactics to better fit what enemy teams seem to be doing in general, and what ships they have and so on. But at this point in time, we are running a free south setup. And we also have the Des Moines, Stalingrad and Yueyang, and lastly me in the Yamato. We see that enemy team also has a Yamato, but then they have 2 boosters, a Sao, a Des Moines, a Henry and a Yueyang. So a slightly different setup than ours. Now what we'll be doing is that together with Pref and Andy, I will go to the A side, while our 2 Saos together with the Yueyang and Stalin will go to B. I will go to the north of the island at F1 and then turn around, point my nose back south, and keep my guns at the A cap. Bref will sit behind the island at E3, and Andy will do what he does best at the 1-2 line. Over at B, Sol in the Stalin will hug the islands to provide radar and fires anything he has angles on, while the Yueyang will help spot for the south. Now what we will see most of the time is that the enemy team will send a destroyer over here at the A cap. He will spot myself and Andy, the enemy team will fire on us and we will fire back, therefore detecting us. Plus we will see when we switch over to a portion of Flambuster Stream, Creed is doing something a bit different. And here we are from Flambuster's point of view. And we see a bit unusually that he's sitting pretty much in the middle around the islands, not spotting anything at all. They also keep the Yamato in the middle to be able to fire at both sides and also to be able to push at whatever sides needs him. They also have Des Moines pushing the island at B2 with a South supporting him and a Wooster around the islands at A to provide radar. And to C cap they actually only send 1 Wooster and 1 Henry. Considering the force they have at the north side, it's a bit strange that Flambus is not actively scouting. And other than waiting to see what we are doing and respond accordingly, I can't think of another reason to do this, because it leaves them blind, which will be an issue we discover that they will have issues with later. Now we're going over to Sol, who has been pushing through the B-cap, and when he activated radar, he detected world spawn in the Worcester. And the South can immediately open up on him, and Sol tried to get some shots above the edge of the island as well. Now the salvo after this one from the south will actually do a pretty substantial amount of damage, especially I think it's the second salvo. That will... well, Wolfspawn I assume makes a bit of a misplay, so we will switch over to Creed and listen to that.
Okay, I'm down.
Fuck. There's something. I think Yamato is on this.
Here.
It is here.
You want me to go down?
Yes, we need to try A now. Behind this island.
Wait, do you want me to go A or do you want me to
Okay,
go
guys,
down?
listen. Is Yamato there?
Yes, he just shot at me. I'm positive.
Okay, Flambus, go for C, and Yamato also go for C.
Now, as we heard here, I assume it was world spawn, but at least no one disagreed, that the Creed team strongly believed that I was over at the B-cap and was shooting at the Worcester. In reality, it was the two souths, and my best guess is that he was either looking in our direction or aiming and definitely didn't see what shells hit him. He just got the critical damage notification, lost a bunch of health, and assumed it was from the BB. Now, what we always try to do is, if we don't know where a ship is, if we haven't seen it, we always assume that ship is on the side we are at. So basically, if we don't see the Yamato, which we haven't done yet, we assume he is at the A side. And Sol and the rest over at B will assume he is there. Therefore, we don't make any decisions based on guesses, which is what Creed is now doing. Because they were so certain that I was over at B, that we only had a Des Moines and a Sao over here, they decided to move the forces over to C to push or respond to our push there. We spot brief sees Flambus going through C. Yamato will be spotted a bit later, and although we don't see the Worcester, he is also leaving A to head over to the C cap. Now, like I said, usually we see a DD here, which will spot us, and therefore they will know where we are. But because Flambus was in the middle and then went C, they never actually detected us. And we didn't detect them either, meaning none of us here at this side has been able to actually shoot yet. Sometimes there will also be an opportunity for me to shoot over at C,
Yeah,
but
they're
not
going for the
this
cap
time.
up there.
So since they think there's only two ships here, they try to push the cap with the Sao. And we will see the results of that push very shortly.
Yamato move back. It's a Zao and a Des Moines, and maybe another Worcester. That's it. If you guys can manage the Zao, you can push further in.
There we go.
Nice! Nice!
Andy, can you go
Fucking kidding me.
the our
Third time! The third time now!
I
What
think
are you
I think we
doing?
should read. I think we should.
I'm detected as
Right
well.
there up.
So
And now from the
maybe
Creed side,
like here.
the
Yeah,
same
he's right
sequence.
I'm radaring. He's not on
Radar
me.
down.
I'm hard spotted. There's the Zao.
Can you turn away?
Oh,
Yamato.
Yamato is up here.
You want me to go back? God damn, that was a lot of HP. Oh wow.
Okay. Epa, you said that you were going to reverse.
Yes, I was turning around. But I was fine if not for the Yamato.
Guys, you need to push there now. You need to push.
Okay, Yamato, start taking the lead.
Now, as you heard, they were completely blindsided by me being over at A. I was obviously a bit lucky with RNG, while my aim was pretty good, if I am allowed to say so myself. RNG can always screw you over, and the shells can fly all over the place. But this time they behaved, and I was able to devastate the sow. And since the Creed players thought that I was over at the BC side, and their response to that was to move all the ships there, which means that the Des Moines over at that island in the northeast is now alone, allowing Pref to push him and Andy to support from the other side in case the Des Moines reverses. I also slowly move towards east while keeping my guns at the Des Moines in case I get an opportunity to shoot at him. The second booster has not been spotted yet, but since Pref is allowed to sail undisturbed north, it's safe this time to assume he is also moving towards A. Pref is slightly lower on HP, so what he decides to do is to actually ram the Des Moines. On the Creed team, they didn't really understand this decision, but basically this allows us to secure that kill and now have an open A cap. So Andy can go and cap that without any interruptions, and I can commit fully to support the east side. If Pref would have died instead, without killing the enemy Des Moines, Andy and I would have to spend time and resources on trying to get the Des Moines killed behind the island, and we would lose time while the enemy team could continue to push towards our east flank. So I would say that although Pref was still very healthy, it was the right decision since it enabled us to take both A and for me to help over at this side. So yeah, even though, like I said, it was a bit lucky that the shells decided to behave this time, but it also really demonstrates how vulnerable Creed became when they made a stupid assumption about positionings of ships they hadn't seen. That not only made them move ships from the north side to the east side, but also to push in the sow. And with him trying to get into the cap the way he did, it just presented me with a very nice broadside that I just couldn't avoid shooting at. I mean, this is an important lesson that even players such as the Creed ones need to understand, that if you don't know where the ship is, you shouldn't make decisions based on it. Because the consequences can definitely be dire, as we see here. Now the game is more or less lost for them. Yanto just ate a bunch of torps, and I get a pretty decent salvo off, even though no citadels, but still over 21,000 damage. They're one ship behind and one cap, and Sol is about to finish off the booster. So I will let our Discord finish off this video.
That's the second time they lose to us.
And I hope you enjoyed watching us kick the ass out of Creed.
Good sport. harsh about it as well.
Yeah, yeah. I think they've learned to understand they're gonna lose to us, so it's like easier, you know?
I do feel it's pretty nice to beat World's Prime though. I'm not gonna
Of course. He's such a troll. He always gets fucking lucky on us in randoms. I swear, it's just annoying.
Yes.
And now Red can say that he bitch slapped him, so it's even better, you know?
I practically bit slashed them all, dude. See, but I read it like a book. Fucking, I see smoke. Why would you smoke? Oh, there's going to be a Worcester in there, but it's be quiet because it's too stupid. You're not going to fall for that. Like I'd fall for that shit. You know what I mean?